9:07 is the time. Temperatures are creeping into the 40s across the state. And what do you say, Kathy? Just a little breezy out there?
Just a little.
By Cheyenne standards or Casper standards, just a little bit of a Wyoming breeze out there. So in the studio with me, Kathy and Mike at Patriot Guard Wreaths Across America. Before we get into what you're going to be doing this Saturday, I want to give some people some Wyoming backstory in it because I thought what you were telling me was interesting. So across the Oregon Trail, there's how many veterans' graves?
There's almost 3,000 veterans buried there.
Wow. I mean, that's a huge number to have buried. Now, where?
Well, it's in Evansville. Oregon Trail is the only all-veteran cemetery throughout all of Wyoming. So we have veterans that are from various places in Wyoming. And we're very fortunate that Darren, the gentleman out there that's in charge of that cemetery, is very much interested in honoring our veterans. So we have worked very hard in the last few years to raise enough money to place a Christmas wreath on every veteran's grave.
Okay. Now, you started small. So the first time you guys went out, how many were laid?
Well, in 2016, the Patriot Guard and Civil Air Patrol joined together and placed 187 wreaths out there. And then we said we want to do more to honor all veterans. It would be very difficult to decide which veteran actually received a wreath. So the Natrona County Republican Women hosted a gala, and we have for the last 3 years to raise the money to place a wreath on all 3,000 graves out there. And we expanded last year to Highland Cemetery, where we placed 1,000 wreaths, and we're going to also place another 200 at Memorial Gardens on the way to the airport there on the Yellowstone Highway.
Okay, so this year you'll end up laying how many?
A total of 4,200.
Wow. I see how much you've grown in such a short period of time.
Well, you know, Wyoming's very patriotic, and our community has gotten behind this, and we can all come together and agree that our veterans deserve to be honored, and this is our way of doing it.
Okay, now you were also explaining this is a nationwide effort, too.
Yeah, Wreaths Across America is a nonprofit organization who actually got started when the Wister family out of Maine, started placing wreaths at Arlington just with their own money and their own dime, and they placed several wreaths, and people started seeing this and wanted to participate, and at the end, they started a nonprofit.
Okay, grown from there. So to do this now, let's talk about the money coming from where.
Well, the money comes from actually our community, our donors. Yeah. We have the gala where we have a live and silent auction, but we have a lot of businesses in the community, a lot of very generous people that have just written checks saying, I'd like to honor veterans. And so they have done that by purchasing a wreath. It's $15. And this community has just come out in full force for us.
So now let's back up because we got a plan for next year, too. If someone wants to purchase a wreath, how do they do that?
Sure. Well, we have forms and things you can fill out. You can go online. For us, it's very important that these wreaths stay in Wyoming. So we have, with the Patriot Guard, they have a fundraising, a number. The Natrona County Republican Women, the Civil Air Patrol also, Casper College veterans participate, Kelly Walsh DECA students are participating, and there are many, many organizations that register at a particular cemetery. But what we've done is have an event that actually helps raise most of the money. But what you do is you can go online. We need to have our location ID, which allows us to place these wreaths here in Natrona County.
Okay. The next thing is that's a lot that you're going to be laying out this year. So volunteers come from where?
Well, they come from all over. We have people from the Crush baseball team to the Boy Scouts, the Girl Scouts. So many different organizations come together. The Daughters of the American Revolution help. Just last year, there were 1,000 volunteers helping us lay those wreaths.
Okay, so this Saturday you're doing it?
This Saturday at 10 a.m. we'll start at Oregon Trail with a wreath-laying ceremony. We have several World War II veterans, which will lay a ceremonial wreath for each branch of the military, as well as a POW MIA wreath. And then we'll head over at noon, 12 o'clock. We will be over at Highland Cemetery laying wreaths, as well as 1:30 at Memorial Gardens. What we would ask is that family members who have a veteran buried at Highland Cemetery or Oregon Trail, or Memorial Gardens, we'd ask them to come and take a wreath and go and place it on their veteran's grave, because those are not necessarily marked. So there's a few areas that are designated for veterans, but overall those cemeteries have veterans buried throughout their cemetery, and we need the family members to come and pick up a wreath, whether they've purchased one or not. We'd like them to pick up one of the wreaths that we've purchased and to take it over to their loved one's grave.
Okay, so non-family members, people who would just like to participate, do what?
Well, they participate just like everybody else. They will pick up a wreath. They say a person dies twice, once when you pass away and the last time your name is spoken. So what we would ask is that from young to old, they will come pick up a wreath. They will walk over to a soldier's or veteran's grave. They will say the name.
Wow.
They will speak the name of the veteran. And some people say, offer a thank you or appreciation for what that soldier did, and then they lay that wreath.
That is moving.
It's touching.
That really is.
Yeah. For the 1% who raised their hand, for the 99% of us who they may never meet, it is one of the most touching, patriotic things I think we can do.
There was a ceremony, I'm trying to remember last year, year before, maybe it was in Cheyenne at the graveyard there. The governor showed up and spoke. And I watched as the whole ceremony was going on, and there were speakers and there was music. I mean, it was quite an event. But way off in a corner, a family of someone who had died, I believe in Afghanistan, had laid out a picnic right there at the stone and basically just took part in having a little picnic right there with their family member. And I thought, to that, I just kind of had to walk away and choke back the tears just watching that. But to walk up to a total stranger's grave from who knows when and to thank them for their service, I think that would be, again, something moving that I'd say bring the kids to.
Oh, absolutely. We encourage that. I was a high school business teacher for 33 years, and I have to tell you, one of the reasons why I believe it's so important to participate in Wreaths Across America is because of their motto. Their motto is to remember the fallen, honor those who have served and their families, and teach the value of freedom. And I truly believe that today our society doesn't realize what those veterans, what they sacrificed. And so for us, to have young kids come up, say their name, lay a wreath, it really does help them to understand that freedom isn't free and what these people have done for us.
So let's make sure everybody understands. First off, contact information, website, social media, the whole 9 yards. Let's run the list of how they get a hold of you and help.
Sure. Well, they're able to call 703-362-0264 if they have any questions as far as this upcoming event. But we have on Facebook, it's been on the radio. We've done some PSAs that just allow folks to come in and participate. But I would suggest showing up at Oregon Trail at 9:15 December 14th, this Saturday, and getting into the chapel and watching a ceremony. We will have World War II veterans, folks from the Korean conflict and Vietnam veterans there to honor the soldiers by laying a wreath in each one of those branches of the military. Okay. And then we'll go outside. Senator Enzi will be there with us. He'll join us this year, and Diana, his wife. And then we will go outside and lay those 3,000 wreaths, and then we'll head across town to Highland Cemetery. Now, on Friday, these wreaths are going to be shipped up here from the Denver area. Actually, the driver's coming, Walgreens driver will be coming, and they will be bringing the wreaths to us at 10 a.m. We're going to be unloading those wreaths, and then we will stage them at the different cemeteries. But we just would like people to come at 10 a.m. Oregon Trail, 12 o'clock Highland Cemetery, and 1:30 at Memorial Gardens.
And for people who need to know where Oregon Trail and Highland Cemetery are, directions?
Actually, you can Google it. Oregon Trail is 800 Veterans Road. It's right there in Evansville. And then the Highland Cemetery is just right behind the hospital there off of Conwell. And then Memorial Gardens is the smaller cemetery, which is based just outside of, on the way to the airport road.
Thank you for coming in. Appreciate your time.
Thank you.
Let's wake up Wyoming.
1, 2, 3, here we go!
Welcome to the WyoPreps Daily Radio Report, powered by the WyoPreps mobile app. I'm David Settle. The Wednesday Radio Report comes your way thanks to Wyoming Liberty Group and Floyd's Truck Center. Preseason WyoPreps.com coaches and media boys and girls basketball rankings are out. We start with the ladies, where the defending champions start at number 1 in all 4 classes, and 3 of them are